What's up guys, it's Kay from Beyond the Box, back with a brand new video. This is a really big video, bigger than we've ever done before. I've actually had to move the table, I've had to move a lot of things around to make this possible. So I hope you guys leave a thumbs up because this was one of my most difficult videos I've ever produced. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. You guys are here because you want to know if an LG 45-inch ultra-wide monitor is worth it. And you guys want to know if you can be competitive in first-person shooters like Call of Duty, like Apex, or if you want to be competitive in a game like Fortnite. This monitor is built for gaming. It's got a 0.03 response time. It is OLED, which means you have true blacks. No more of these black pixels turned on. It'll actually give your picture a much better, brighter contrast. Pretty bright monitor with that being said. Speaking of brightness, there are different LEDs in the back of the monitor. You can change the color to literally whatever you want. You can see it at the bottom right there. But this is a super freaking cool monitor. It is priced right now at $1,400. You can get it on Amazon or Best Buy. I got mine at Best Buy. It's originally $1,700 and it is 240 hertz, HDRR, adaptive sync for G-Sync, and it has FreeSync. So if you guys wanted to use NVIDIA's gaming service, you could stream games to the monitor and play games directly through the monitor. There is a little headphone jack at the bottom right there that you can plug a pair of headphones into if you're not using a gaming PC. Speaking of other plugs on the monitor, there's two HDMIs, one display port, a digital audio out, and two USB slots in the back. My only gripe about the back ports is the two USB ports on the back, you can't use them for anything because you can't like power your cell phone and stick up. You can't use them for almost anything. They're basically unusable unless you want to send data through the USBs. What I'm really annoyed about with the USB ports on the back is the fact that you can't use them to power things like charging your phone and having your phone right next to you. If you ran out of USBs and you don't have anywhere to plug in your phone, you're gonna be out of luck. So that was really annoying for me. I actually had to move a lot of things around in my setup just to make this monitor work. But I'm sure you guys that already have an LG monitor around or other monitors probably already know that you can't really use the back USB-Cs to do anything on it besides sending data and stuff. So that's a little minor gripe. It's not a big deal. But it does come with this super freaking cool controller. And this is how you operate it through everything. You can change the input. You can change it to HDMI 1, HDMI 2, or display port. You got the settings right here. So let's say you want to switch to a different type of mode, you want to change the colors on the monitor itself. You can do that with a click of a button on the controller. So many different game settings, and I like to keep mine right on FPS because FPS is pretty much the only type of game I play. But regardless of whatever picture mode you use, this thing is going to have a 0.03 response time regardless. You can turn the adaptive sync on or off, but one of my most used features on this monitor has got to be the crosshairs. I love turning the crosshairs on, and I just basically keep it on 24/7. You can see the crosshair just popped up in the middle of the screen right there. But that helps me a lot in first-person shooters, and I love having it on. Now you can turn it off with a click of a button, or you can change it to green, you can change it to a dot, you can turn it to a red dot, or you can turn it off completely. Now, since this is an OLED, your results may vary when it comes to burn-in. I actually own an LG CX OLED big screen 55-inch that's been sitting in my bedroom for about 2 to 3 years now, and I've never had any burn-in whatsoever. So if you guys are worried about burn-in, try not to worry about it that much because it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. Just be smart about it. I always like to turn my monitor off, especially even if I keep my PC on, I keep my monitor off just so nothing ever burns in. Now you can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the sharpness, the gamma, the color, the tones, all that stuff directly from here. It also has an FPS counter that you can put on if you really want to see how many frames you're getting on your screen. You don't have to have that on, obviously, if you have game settings on already that tell you. And like I said earlier, since you can play NVIDIA games directly through their streaming services, this monitor does have a headphone jack that you can actually select which different type of setting you want for your game audio. I just keep it on game. You guys can fiddle around with whatever you want, but this is a pretty customizable monitor, guys. And basically every game these days has a 3440 by 1440 resolution. Unless you're trying to play with the Samsung Odyssey, which is like a 49-inch curve, which I don't recommend, by the way, if you're playing a first-person shooter, I definitely don't recommend it. But this is a perfect monitor whether you're playing on story modes. But now you guys know the gist of this monitor. It's also super customizable when it comes to the positioning. You got a slider that goes up and down. You can tilt it up. but I basically like to keep mine around here on my desk level. But this is a super customizable monitor, guys. If you're in the market for something like this, it's a cool purchase. It's a great purchase. If you're a flight sim guy, a racing sim guy, a story mode guy, an RPG kind of guy, and it's even great in first-person shooters, but we're gonna get to that in a little bit. But I've basically done enough talking about this monitor. I think you guys should now see it in action and see what you think about the gaming experience, and I'll let you know as I go. All right, so we just loaded up GTA 5, and to be honest with you guys, I haven't really played GTA 5 in years, but it is cool to be able to load it up and see what it looks like on this ultra-wide monitor. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but we do have the monitor crosshairs on. If the crosshair burned into the monitor because it's an OLED, I wouldn't care at all because I use it for Call of Duty all the time. I don't really play anything besides Call of Duty. I have a few story mode games like GTA and like Star Wars, like Jedi Survivor and all that stuff, but I don't really play them that much. I usually play them once and then I'm done. But we're playing on 3440 by 1440 with a 0.03 response time, and it is 240 hertz with HDR on. That is the cool thing about this monitor. It has auto HDR and it has G-Sync, and I think it has a few other things that if I'm missing, I can just pop on the video screen. It also has a variable refresh rate, so whatever the hell that means. And this monitor also has variable refresh rates on. We're also playing at max settings on a 3080 Ti. This is actually really cool to see GTA 5 like with this wide monitor view. It's really cool. If you are a primarily story mode gamer, you absolutely should check out this monitor. If you have some disposable income, I definitely recommend you guys check this monitor out. It's incredible and I love it too, but I just don't think I should be spending $1,400 on a monitor when I just spent $500 on a 1440p 240 hertz monitor that's 27 inches. And yeah, the response time isn't as good as this monitor, but I've had this monitor for 2 weeks and I don't know what it's gonna feel like to go back to a 27-inch flat screen display. If it's too big of a difference for me, I might end up buying the monitor again. I plan on returning this in all honesty with you guys because the price is just too high for me to be okay with. It seems like a big waste of money for me because I don't play story games enough. Although when I'm 75 and GTA 6 decides to finally come out, I might decide to pick up this monitor again because I'll be playing a lot of GTA 6 when it comes out. Which, by the way, again, I'm gonna mention, if you guys want to watch me stream almost every single night, I stream on Twitch and Kick. The links are gonna be also in the description. Now we're in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You guys can clearly see that this monitor shines its brightest during role-playing games just like this. Look at all the extra detail on the sides of the screen that I wouldn't normally get on a regular monitor. It's crazy. The HDR is amazing. The OLED dark blacks just pop. Like, look at all this view. You guys can tell that this monitor is absolutely insane when it comes to story missions. The level of detail that's in this is crazy. Like, there's so much missed image that you wouldn't get if you had a 27-inch instead of this 45-inch. It completely changes the entire experience. I wish I could have played through this entire story mode with the ultra-wide monitor. It is a beautiful experience if you've never played on one, and the curve doesn't really get in the way of anything, whether you're doing desktop work or gaming. Besides playing a competitive shooter when you have the objectives in the corner because it's out of your POV, besides that, it's a great experience when playing on a monitor like this. The detail of this game is incredible, especially because that this monitor is an OLED, so it has absolute true blacks. All the black pixels that you see are turned off, and it creates a rich color contrast in comparison to like anything else that you played on. I normally played on an LED LCD my entire life, and the difference is night and day of the quality of the black images. Plus, it just makes colors pop. It makes Jedi Survivor look 10 times better looking just because of the OLED screen. This is an absolutely beautiful game, guys, especially with this monitor. All right, so we've loaded up some MW2, and I'm just gonna try to explain what the experience is like of using this ultra ultra-wide monitor as I play like a regular Call of Duty YouTuber. And speaking of which, if you guys are interested in watching me play Call of Duty, I stream almost every single night around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys come check me out on Twitch and Kick. I'm streaming on both platforms. But with that said, what is it like to play on an ultra-wide monitor? The experience is quite different than a regular monitor. You don't normally have the extra screen on the sides that you do on, like, let's say my normal 27-inch monitor. And sometimes it is beneficial to have, but let's say you're a competitive Call of Duty player. And since I'm so competitive, like see I already have on my streaks, I think it's important to have a smaller screen, but this is a very competitive screen because, as I probably mentioned earlier in the video, the screen is only a 0.03 input delay. So that's super fast, faster than most of your monitors you see today. The monitor I was using from MSI was a 1 millisecond monitor. And what else I don't like about this is you can tell, like, if you look at the objective in the corner of your screen, the stuff in the corner of your screens, like you can see if I turn too far, the objective is over here. I have to really move my eyes. That's the same goes for the mini map. I mean, you can move the mini map from the corner to more inward on the screen like I did. You can adjust your safe areas. It's very important in Call of Duty. And it does help improve the experience of being competitive on this monitor. And I have been playing ranked play a lot with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing really good with it. It is possible to be competitive with an ultra-wide monitor. I just wish that this monitor cost less money. Because if this monitor cost less money, then I would absolutely have no problem recommending you guys buy it and use it. I don't have to worry about ghosting either. But yeah, monitor bleeding is something I have to worry about because this is an OLED. So I try to just make sure that I turn the monitor off at all times. That way I don't have to worry about it. And that solves the issue if you're really worried about bleed in. But that's the end of the game, guys. As you guys can see, we did do better than everybody in the lobby. And I know this is not a competitive game mode. We're not playing ranked play right now, but I normally do only play ranked play. You guys can see I had a 2KD. It's probably one of my worst games, to be honest with you. But you can be competitive on an ultra-wide monitor. I just don't like the fact that you have to look at objectives over here in the corners. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. And to be honest with you, if this wasn't a $1,500 monitor, let's say if it was under $1,000, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because it's like $1,400, it used to be $1,700. Because it's like $1,400, I just don't see the value in spending this much money on a monitor, especially just for the curved aspect of it. So yeah, guys, that's the gaming experience on the LG 45-inch ultra-wide monitor. It's super cool. I love playing on it. It definitely has some minor downsides and some minor gripes that I think that can be looked over, but when it comes to the price, I'm still not trying to spend even $1,400 on a monitor. I just think that's kind of stupid. You could get a gaming PC with a relatively decent graphics card for about $1,700 to $2,000 these days. So the fact that you pay over half of the money you spend on a PC on a monitor just doesn't really make sense to me. I plan to take this monitor back after this video is done being filmed, and I'm really worried about going back to a 27-inch monitor. I really hope that I can adjust to it again because I've gotten so used to playing on this thing, guys. I really enjoy it. If this monitor was only like 700 bucks, I would say, you know what, I'm gonna keep it. It's an amazing product. And I definitely think those of you who have the money to spend on a monitor like this should go ahead and pull the trigger because this is an incredible monitor. I have no gripes about it. That's coming from a competitive first-person shooter player who mainly just plays Call of Duty. I'm super picky. I want every competitive advantage I can. I definitely think that I am just as good, if not better, on this ultra-wide monitor. So we're gonna go back to a 27-inch monitor soon and see what it's like to game on, and hopefully I don't get worse. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash the thumbs up to the YouTube algorithm. It really helps me out. I really put a lot of time into making this video, so your support would be amazing. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think of this monitor, and would you ever play competitive shooters on this monitor, or do you think it'd just be a huge hassle? So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm gonna sign off. And I'm also giving an Oculus Quest 2 away, 20,000 subscribers, guys. If you have not entered to win, I definitely think you should. You could always unsubscribe later if you don't wanna see my content in the future. We're also giving a PS5 away, 30,000 subscribers, so we got a lot of stuff to give away on the channel. And I'm giving away free video games every few months on my Twitch and Kick, so all you guys gotta do to win those free games is follow me on Twitter at BeyondTheBox1. But I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.